let's see. Let's put this boot over here. Okay. Let's see. I got a blue dragon, not quite a, Chinese, Japanese type dragon, but it's a blue dragon. Put that here. Let's see. I've got a wolf. So, closest thing I'm going to have to a Makami, a Kuchino Makami. That one can go here. Sit. Good, Yamato. Let's see here. I also have a monkey that has fire. Can go here next to the wolf. I just think they're going to get along really well. And even though I do have a phoenix on my shirt, I also have a little tiny phoenix right here. That can go there. Okay, so we've kind of reached the last in my Zoan videos that are going to be about the different Zoan devil fruits that are in One Piece. This one is going to be about the Mythological Zones, which, I was kind of trying to just do these about the real animal ones, and I'm just like, screw it, we'll do the Mythological Zone ones too, because I really like a lot of the different Mythological Zones. So I got a couple of them represented here today. I don't have any like 8-headed snakes. I don't have anything that looks like, a couple of the other ones. I wish I had a better phoenix than that, but I don't have any, unfortunately, except for the one on my shirt and the tiny one. So yeah, and unfortunately there are no mythological bunnies in One Piece. Yet. I don't know, maybe that'll change. Okay, so, the basic things that we know about different mythological zones is that there are, of course, they are a subclass of the zones, same thing as like the ancient zones. They are a subclass, and they are classified as the rarest types of devil fruits, even rarer than Logias. Although, admittedly, I don't remember exactly, but for some reason I think that there are more mythological ones than there are Logias, which is weird, but, whatever. And also with Wano, we've had so many different mythological zone ones introduced in Wano. And I am going to go over the two non-canon mythological zones in this as well, but we'll just work our way through these. And then, of course, the newest mythological zone that is monkey-related will be the last one that I go over in this video. Obviously, we've seen quite a few of them. They can give, Marcos gives him the ability to turn into a bird or a bird hybrid, a phoenix, and, allows him to, heal not just other people, but himself, considering that we've seen him be shot through multiple times with bullets, and he's just like, I is bird. I am fine. That type of stuff. We've seen him use his healing powers and everything. So let's just go through the different zones that we have. So the first one that we are introduced to is, of course, the Hitohitomi model Phoenix, which is, of course, the bird fruit model, mythical zone, mythical model Phoenix, which is, of course, used by Marco the Phoenix of the, formerly of the Whitebeard Pirates. We know that he's had his devil fruit for a very long time, because even in flashbacks, when we see him during the Odin flashback, he already has his devil fruit there, because he turns into his Phoenix form, and that was, 30 to 20 something, 28, 29, range years ago, during that time frame. And so he's had his devil fruit for quite a while. As we know, it allows him to heal people, and himself. And, he has the flames of rejuvenation. We also saw him during the, big incident in the festival hall with the Isoni virus. He's, able to use his fire to help kind of like mitigate that virus, to keep it from like spreading more. And, that helped Chopper and the rest of them be able to, get their, allowed Chopper to create the cure that he used, to save everybody. I like Marco. I kind of think he's out of the fight for a minute, but, we'll see what happens. We'll see. I really hope that, like, I would like Marco to, like, stay with the Straw Hats. You know, that would be nice, but I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that he might become, like, an ally, as, like, maybe help them, like, during, like, whatever the big final battle is for One Piece, because it's like, well, if they want to go up against the Marines, led by Akainu, you know, Marco's probably going to want to get in on that since Akaino's the one that killed Ace, and he might show up and help with that. Same thing with when they go and fight fight Blackbeard and his crew. You know, he's going to want to get his revenge on Whitebeard, or, you know, his revenge for Whitebeard's death against Teach. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, I just really always liked Phoenix's, you know, from, oh, I should have brought up my mythological creatures book that I have. Oh, well, too late now. I don't want to go downstairs. I'm lazy. But, you know, also, you know, it's like the other reference that I mainly have for Phoenixes is, of course, you know, Harry Potter, Fawkes, the Phoenix in Harry Potter, or a different Phoenix that we've seen in more recent Harry Potter movies. I'm recording this just after I've seen Secrets of Dumbledore, which I enjoyed more than Crimes of Grindelwald because it helps tie up a few things. Still has some unanswered questions, but helps tie up a few things. Next up on the list is the Hitohitomi model Daibutsu, which is, of course, the human fruit mythical zone model, like giant golden Buddha. I don't have a giant golden Buddha, but I do have a sitting Buddha. That is, of course, this was eaten, of course, by Sengoku, Sengoku the Buddha, who is, of course, you know, the former fleet admiral of the Marines, you know, Garp's best friend. And, you know, we've seen him use this a little bit, mostly during Marineford War. He used it to kind of try to, you know, keep the, you know, Whitebeard's crew at bay with his, you know, different Buddha shockwaves, and, you know, attacked Luffy and everything when he got up to the execution block to, you know, try to save Ace and everything. You know, it's like, I'm vaguely familiar, you know, it's just like I have certain references for, like, Buddhism and everything. Like, I am reading Record of Ragnarok, and I really liked Buddha's fight. That was a really good fight. I also like, it's just like, no, Buddha's not like a fat man. He's just like this really buff guy that likes candy. That I found hilarious. I loved that from Record of Ragnarok. That was so funny. Just like, I really like candy. They don't have candy in heaven, so I'm not going to heaven. Okay, sure. Whatever, Buddha. But this is not about Record of Ragnarok, sorry. You know, so we've seen Sengoku. We know that he's no longer the, you know, fleet admiral that is now being held by Sakazuki, but he is the inspector general, because it's just like, he knows too much, so we can't just let him go and retire, so we have to keep him around, kind of like Garp. It's like, they've seen too many things. We can't get rid of them. And people might ask questions if we did. What happened to Garp the Fist? I don't know. The Marines decided to execute him. Same thing with Sengoku the Buddha. I don't know why. That would be bad. I kind of think Sengoku might end up, like, being an unwitting ally of the Straw Hats. That would be interesting. But, like, I do want to see Sengoku fight again, or I would like to see if we get, like, a flashback where we see, like, Sengoku in his prime. Since I don't remember if we ever found out when Sengoku got his devil fruit. I don't remember if we ever got an answer to that. But I would like to see, like, a flashback where we get to see Sengoku fight a little bit more. Because we know that, like, Whitebeard and, like, you know, Roger, you know, considered, you know, Garp and Sengoku, like, those two were the two that they, like, really considered, like, good rivals among the Marines, you know, good combatants, good, you know, equal footing on that, you know, for them in the Marines. Down the line, the next one that we technically are introduced to, although it takes a while for us to actually, you know, find out the name of the freaking devil fruit, is the Uanomi model Seiryu, or the Fish Fruit Mythical Zone model Azure Dragon, which is wielded by Kaido of the Beast, or Wisdom King, or whatever you want to refer to him as, Captain of the Beast, whatever. Guy that's currently getting his butt handed to him by a cartoon rubber boy. Hopefully. I actually planned this video to come out between a time frame like when chapters came out, when I'd be like, okay, I know everything that's going on with Luffy right now. So, I can't miss something about his devil fruit, or at least I shouldn't miss something about his devil fruit that will be contradicted by the time this video comes out. But we'll talk about Luffy later. So, Kaido, of course, is this, big, strong character already. And then on top of his, already Oni and, really strong powers already, he has a devil fruit that allows him to turn into a frickin' dragon, which I love. I'm sorry, I really, really love Kaido's design as a dragon. And I do have a magic carp or a Gyarados that I've nicknamed Kaido. Although I think I might be working to try to get one in Legends Arceus and get like an alpha magic carp and nickname it Kaido and get it like really strong. I really like Kaido's design. I've always loved dragons. I've always thought dragons were, beautiful, majestic creatures for the most part. I am more familiar with, of course, the European style dragons that are, on 4 legs and everything. But then, I do really like the designs that they have in, Chinese and Japanese mythology. And of course, my other kind of reference for that is kind of the dragons that we see in Mulan, so Mushu, but I would still put my money on Kaido in a bet between Mushu and Kaido. But you throw Mulan in there, and I don't know. Mulan might be able to give Kaido a run for his money. But, with Kaido, he's got the Boro breath, he's got the Wind Scythe breath, he's got, the, lightning breath. He's got all that stuff, and he's got his amazing hybrid form that he goes into and everything. And, he's got the flame clouds and everything that are currently kind of disintegrating around the island. So it's we've seen a very good explanation as to what Kaido can do with his powers throughout the course of not just Wano, but also specifically throughout the course of, the rooftop battles that he's had with the Scabbards, and then with the Worst Generation, and then specifically just with Luffy and everything. And with Kaido, with the Yamato in there as well. So we've seen a lot of those. So there's not really a huge, it's we've seen a fair amount of what Kaido can do. So kind of the thing that it's just I do see 2 possibilities. There's either Luffy or a couple of possibilities with Kaido that I'll just touch upon here. Either A, Luffy is just going to straight up defeat Kaido, which giant fist versus dragon with fist being size of island. We'll see what happens. But Luffy defeats Kaido. I don't know if Luffy will kill Kaido, but he might, and it might just be a reaction of oh, Kaido's gonna die, and maybe he does die, and then something happens with the devil fruit. Maybe Zoro's sword will get the devil fruit. Maybe, I don't remember if it was Enma or Wadoichi Monji that Oda said would be really good to have the devil fruit, and I'm just yes, give Zoro a dragon sword. He already has the King of Hell as a sword. Give him a dragon sword too. I am okay with this. But one of the other things is the other option is Luffy defeats him, and then maybe Kaido would be well, you defeated me, therefore now I must work for you. Luffy's answer would either be, yay, now I have a dragon, or I just beat you, I don't want to deal with you again. Or Kaido will just be defeated, and then he'll just go off and mope somewhere with King. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Next up, we have the Inonomi model. Where'd it go? Bottle Kyubi no Kitsune, which is the Mythical Zone, the dog fruit model, Mythical Zone Nine-Tailed Fox. Which, I should have brought up my stuffed Vulpix, but okay. There's a lot of other stuff I could have put in the background of this, but I just didn't think of it. Is, of course, the devil fruit that was eaten by Katarina Devon of the Blackbeard Pirates, and it allows her to not only turn into a fox, and probably also this nine-tailed fox and nine-tailed fox hybrid, but also allows her to shapeshift and masquerade as other people, which is different than what Bon Clay does. Because he physically changes into the person. Katarina Devon, I think, just looks like them and isn't actually physically that person. So there's a difference there because we saw her turn into Absalom, but then she, flipped and changed back into her regular form. So it might also just be like it covers that same area of what the clone fruit can do. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't really know what else to expect from her. She's probably going to end up masquerading as somebody else at some point in time. Maybe, masquerades as someone and then tries to fight, the Straw Hats when they show up. We'll see what happens. Katarina Devon I do not like, but I do like her devil fruit. And that's kind of the thing is like, well, I don't like this character, but I really like the devil fruit. I actually like Kaido in regards to the way that he's been written as a character. He's a horrible father and a horrible ruler. But, he probably didn't have the best examples with, Rocks being around when he was a kid. Next up, we have the Heavy Nomi model Yamato no Orochi, which is, of course, the, Mythical Zone, snake fruit model Mythical Zone, Yamato no Orochi, or like Hydra, 8-headed serpent, or 9-headed serpent, whichever one it is. That was, of course, eaten by Kurozumi Orochi, who is currently on fire and has had so many of his heads cut off in the last, several hours that hopefully he dies very soon, but I would also be okay with just, like, they pin him down again, and, like, he's transformed. They just let everybody come by and, like, just slice his head off again and again and again and again and again. He just keeps regrowing, and he just goes through more and more pain. It's like, here you go, Hiyori, it's your turn. Yay! Okay, Momo, your turn. Who's next? I would be okay with that. But, yeah, hopefully I'm hoping, like, that, Denjiro shows up and, like, slays him finally or whatever happens. Or maybe he'll just get squished in the rubble of everything. But I don't know. Someone has to save Hiyori. So, we'll see what happens with that. The concept of, my main reference for this is like the Hydra from, like, the Hercules myths from, Greek mythology and Roman mythology. Is this Hydra that, you slice off its head and 2 or 3 more grow back, or if you want to go for, like, the Marvel reference, cut off 1 head, 2 more grows back for, like, Hydra and Red Skull and everything that happens with that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. Oh, Bucky. But, within the context of One Piece, it's this, it's a very powerful devil fruit, but it's in the hands of an idiot. So, it in of itself is probably not that threatening, but, when used by Orochi, it's not that threatening. But give that devil fruit to, like, someone else that is, like, much more battle-orientated, much, smarter and much better with, battle strategies and everything like that. That fruit would become a much more of a threat. Don't know who I would, like, give that devil fruit to, like, who else would be, like, a really good, one to have that devil fruit, but I don't know. Next up, we have the, another Hitohitomi, the Hitohitomi model, Onyudo, or the human fruit model Mythical Zone Onyudo, which was eaten by Onimaru, who is the little shape-shifting, like, fox thing that they have in Wano that I love. The backstory that they gave for him and for Kawamatsu. Oh, that was so adorable. And so he's this fox that used to belong to the Shimosuke clan. And, after everything happened with Kaido and everything, he ended up, we don't know if he, like, ate the devil fruit before or after he was, like, a companion of the Shimosuke clan, if, like, he ate the devil fruit during that time frame, and then later on he ended up actually using it, or he ate it later on. And then, after what happened with, Kawamatsu, he helped Kawamatsu, like, gather swords and everything. And then when Kawamatsu got captured, he took over the, guardian of the bridge, and it was this bridge in Hakumai that was like steal people's swords and spears and everything like that, and like kept them pristine and everything, and like cleaned up the swords that were on the graves and everything, so that way the army, the rebellion army, would have weapons. And I'm just like, oh, Onimaru. I hope Onimaru is not dead. I don't necessarily think Onimaru is going to show back up again, or at least probably won't show back up again until, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, Zoro goes and, like, actually pays respects to Emma's grave, which, considering everything that's going on right now in Wano, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but it could also be, like, I don't know, Hiyori goes and, like, pays respects to the grave again and, like, sees Onimaru there. So we'll see what happens with that. You know, I like Onimaru. I think he's adorable. He's just this adorable, beautiful fox that I just thought looked so cute. And I just like, oh, that backstory. And then we have for the one of the last canon devil fruits that we have for the mythical zones. That's not the most recent one, but the other ones is the Inu no Mi model Okuchi no Makami, which is the dog fruit model mythical zone Okuchi no Makami, which is of course the devil fruit that was eaten by Yamato. Probably when she was a child, shortly after she, you know, escaped, you know, after the samurai helped her escape. So, yeah. So we know that this devil fruit allows her to turn into this big, you know, ice-powered fox. Or, wolf, excuse me. Wolf, not fox. I'm going to be very happy when we finally get to see what she looks like in the anime, like full on see that. We saw her like teeth in the anime so far, but we haven't really seen anything else of her. So I will also be going back to the tried and true method of pictures of Rainy, for a couple of pictures of Rainy as the, oh, he heard me say his name, as the pictures to reference for Yamato in her, you know, beast form, in her full-on animal form. So, you know, we know that she can control ice and everything because she's, like, used ice a few times against Kaido, which by Pokemon logic, ice should be very effective against Dragon. I want Yamato to go with the Straw Hats, but we'll see what happens. Currently, Yamato and, you know, Momonosuke are, like, as, you know, watching what's going on with Kaido, it's just, like, giant fist aiming for Dragon floating above island. Oh, God, this is not good. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going to be really happy when, as I said, when they show Yamato's, you know, forms in the anime when they get to that. I was kind of, like, wanting to stay off this video until after we got those, but, like, the anime was, like, on hiatus for a short bit, and then now it's back with a beautiful episode. With, you know, what they showed with, you know, when Luffy finally got to the cliff and finally got to the roof, and, like, everything that they showed with, like, Yamato and Ace, like, their, you know, memories and everything. So it'll be very interesting to see, you know, watch those fights play out between Yamato and Kaido on the roof and everything when she comes back and, like, fights, and, like, also when she's, you know, trying to, you know, help the Straw Hats and deal with, like, the bomb threat and everything. So, I'm gonna, you know, I really like Yamato. I really love Yamato's devil fruit as well. It's like, I know that there was a lot of theories about, like, oh, she's a Kirin, or she's, you know, oh, she's going to be like the Byaku, you know, the white tiger and everything. And I think either of those would have been perfect for her as well in regards to just, like, their animosity against, like, the dragon. But it's just, like, she's this representative of Wano and the fact that she is this, you know, this patron creature of Wano. So I really like that. Now we have two non-canon devil fruits, or technically three non-canon devil fruits. So, one of them is the Ino no Mi model, Baki Danuki, which is the dog fruit model mythical zone Tanuki. So it's a mythical raccoon, which is of course what everybody thinks that, you know, Chopper is. They think he's a raccoon, and that was eaten by Pato, who is actually a character in a One Piece video game that I do not remember the name of the game because I've never played it and I don't intend to. But it's so this is another case of the object ate a devil fruit. So it's a pen that ate a devil fruit. So it's actually in One Piece Unlimited World Red is the name of the website, or is the name of the game that this character is in. And it's this pen that ate a devil fruit. So it's like we see it both in pen form and in, like, Tanuki form. And I thought I'd hand it to him. It's cute, and I can see why people, you know, why people think that Chopper is a Tanuki or a raccoon at times. So that's funny. You know, it changes into, you know, a pen and, you know, different objects and things like that. So that's just funny. And then it's actually owned by a character who has the Bato no Mi model vampire, or the Bat Fruit Mythical Zone model vampire, which is not actually a vampire, but it gives you the ability to, like, I guess, control blood, I guess, to a degree. Which, you know, can be a very helpful thing. If you can control blood, you can, make someone's blood stop flowing in their veins, and then they kind of can die. And that was eaten by Patrick Redfield, who is, like, the main villain in the One Piece world, Unlimited Red, whatever. And he just, he shifts back and forth. Luffy ends up fighting him, of course. There's not that much, changes him into a vampire. There wasn't too much that goes with that. He's not that interesting. And then the other one that I have here before we move on to some truth bombs in regards to Luffy's Devil Fruit is the Tori no Mi model New, or the Bird Fruit Mythical Zone model New, which was eaten by I always have a hard time with this guy's name, and I don't know why. Toratsugo, who is this kind of main character that was created for the One Piece X Kyoto event that they did. He has this devil fruit. I did a bit more of an in-depth version of a breakdown of this devil fruit in one of the One Piece couples videos that I did, where I talk about this character and, like, more of that backstory. So I broke that down a little bit in a different video that'll be coming out soon, where I talk about him. But it's this devil fruit that allows him to turn into a New, which is a Japanese creature that has, it's the head of a monkey, the limbs of a tiger, and the body of a Japanese raccoon dog, and the front half of a snake for a tail. So it's a Japanese version of a chimera. And so there's that concept in there. It's, this, like, pieced together animal. And he's actually a very good guy throughout the course of the interaction that the Straw Hats have. It's a non-canon thing. It was just created for the One Piece X Kyoto, but it's a really good side story that I kind of wish that they had, animated into Wano. That would have been fun. But it's this really good side story, and, like, it's got, like, you can, like, look up more information about it online. But it's really good, and there is a love story involved there, where it's like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for a love story. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a good love story. Not Twilight. But, so he changes into a New. It doesn't have any features of a bird, but it's still a bird devil fruit, because apparently, like, in mythology, like, the cry that it gives off is very similar to a type of bird. So I don't know. I guess so. The description also have it of, like, parts of a chicken, but not the version that we see in the what Oda drew for it, because it is an Oda created character. It's just not canon, which I kind of wish that they would throw that into, like, somewhere in One Piece, like have him pop up somewhere. But it takes place in Wano, so it's like we've already kind of seen enough what happens with Wano, so I don't really think that's going to happen. And finally, the coup de grace, the most recent, technically first devil fruit we're introduced to, is the Gamu Gamu no Mi, which is actually the Hitohitomi, the human fruit mythical zone model Nika, sun god Nika, god of liberation, blah 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 blah, eaten by the main character of the series when he was 7 years old. And, we've seen him, we've seen the progression of Luffy's power throughout the whole course of the series, getting stronger, stretching, different ways that he stretches and uses his power. And then he's got gear second and gear third and gear fourth. And then now he's activated, gear fifth and everything after he, basically died and has now awakened his devil fruit and everything. And it was basically confirmed by the giant frickin' elephant that, yeah, Joy Boy had the mythical zone as well, had this devil fruit as well. So, yeah, I love that, like, yeah, no, Joy Boy had this because now this kid has it. And, we'll see what happens. And it's just like, I love the abilities that it's given Luffy. It's just like, I like what he does with, like, combining, like, his you know, like gear 3rd and gear 4th and everything with, you know, with his hockey and everything, like he's trained with that and everything. And then, you know, now he's awakened it and everything. And like, yeah, he's going to have to get used to using his awakening and like being able to like maybe use it a little bit more on command, which is probably going to be something that happens after he's, you know, after they leave Wano. Hopefully Luffy will show something where it's just like, oh, well, Luffy's like, well, I kind of have to train with this or like something like that. But, you know, he has Toon Force now. Grab lightning bolt, turn lightning bolt into cartoon lightning bolt, throw a lightning bolt at Kaido, bounce all over the ground, get whacked in the face with the hammer all the time with the Kanabo. I'm sorry, yes, I'm one of the people that really, really likes what Oda did with this with Luffy's Devil Fruit. I love how he did that. It was just like, it makes sense, because it's just like, Rubber World, Toon World, Liberation, because that's what the Devil Fruit represents, because it's the sun god Nika. And, you know, it's just like, now we know why Luffy could make fire with his Red Hawk and everything, because it's like, that's an extension of that. And, you know, now he can, you know, he's combining all of his attacks, and right now it's Giant Fist versus, you know, Kaido. We'll see what the end result of this is. Kaido's got to be running on empty too. Same thing as Luffy. So it's just like, it's kind of a battle of attrition at this point in time between the two of them. Of just like, how's Kaido, you know, can Kaido dodge this? Will Kaido dodge this? Is kind of where that is coming in. There's so much that happens there with, you know, with the different Devil Fruit users, with what's going on with Luffy, and like, you know, I would love it if, you know, as I said, it's just like Luffy does not know whether or not what his Devil Fruit is. He doesn't know that it's technically not the Gummo Gummo no Mi, but it is the Gummo Gummo no Mi. But now it's also the Hitohitomi no Mi. So it's just like, it's a mythical zone. It's just like, when's Luffy going to figure this out? Like, is he ever going to figure this out? You know, there's a whole thing of like, well, you know, Jinbei talked to Who's Who, and Who's Who made some mentions of things, so maybe he'll ask Robin, and then maybe Robin will explain something, or maybe via, like, I don't know, giant elephant that Luffy can hear the voice of, and Momo can hear the voice of, maybe Momo can help tell Luffy, like, so this is what Zunisha said, so this is what happened, or, I don't know, maybe Luffy will never find out that it's actually a mythical zone, and he doesn't realize that it's his awakening, that it's just, he just calls it Gear 5th. Which he would probably still call it Gear 5th anyway, because that's the way that Luffy works. But it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it was just like, you know, watching him, it's going to be very interesting watching him fight against, you know, Blackbeard with this power. And it's just like, whoever other else he has to fight now. And like, yeah, there's the whole thing of like, now Luffy is like a kind of the avatar of a deity at this point in time. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm just going to side note here. I do not know what other type of mythological creatures will end up being introduced to throughout One Piece. I don't know if there's going to be any other ones. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up learning that there's more, you know, but I don't know exactly what those other creatures would be. I mean, like, there's a whole trope of other mythological creatures that, you know, Oda can pull from to use in this story as these other different, you know, mythical devil fruits if he wants to. Like, I'd like to see a you know, we have a phoenix. I meant a griffin would be interesting, or like a harpy, or, you know, I don't know. I was going to go like a mythical zone model, Hitohitomi model, like mermaid, but I don't know if that would qualify as like a fish or a, you know, or a human one. I don't know. You know, it's that whole thing of just like, well, what else can there be? What other ones are there? You know, it's just like, it's like he has a whole, like, you know, it's like when it comes to like the ancient zones, it's like there's a whole list of other ancient animals that he can always go for to use as a different devil fruit if he wants to. Same thing with like, just like, there's any number of animals that he can use for just other regular zone devil fruits. It's just whatever he decides is the best one. Same thing with like, you know, what Logias is he going to do? What other, you know, different things like that. You know, what other weird, wacky paramecia powers can he do as well? So, I would think out of all of the different mythical zone, let's see, which mythical zone devil fruit would I want? I mean, my brain's pretty loopy, so I mean, like the Hitohitomi, the one that Luffy has, you know, the Nika one, probably would be bad, but I don't think I'd have the endurance to want to like train to awaken it and get to that point in time. But you know, I mean, if I had to, I would. But I mean, like, just out of the ones in general, I wouldn't mind Yamato's. Although my sister loves Woe, so I think she'd rather have the Yamato one, the the Makami one. I wouldn't mind turning into a giant freaking blue dragon. That would be nice. I wouldn't mind that. I'd fly that way too with the you know, flame clouds. If I wanted to fly too, I can just turn it, you know, be a phoenix. Pick being a phoenix instead. You know, Marco, hey, I'm gonna take your devil fruit now. You know, those are good. I don't think I'd want Orochis. I don't want to have the ability to have my head cut off multiple times, because then, like, if someone just gets angry at me, it's like, oh, this is going to be painful. But, I mean, like, I also wouldn't mind, because I also wouldn't mind, you know, Katarina Devon's one, where she can, you know, shapeshift into different people. Whether we know that's the extent of her power or not, we're not sure. She may also be able to just kind of create some illusions anyway, since, like, it is kind of an illusion-based devil fruit, so she might be able to, like, make, like, like, trick people into thinking that there's, like, fire or, like, water or something else around them, or think that they're being attacked by enemies, but they're not. Which I probably could have mentioned with hers, but I just thought of it here. So there is that, but, you know, there's a couple of other, you know, Mythical Zone ones that are pretty interesting. So that's what I had for this one. I do not know if I'm going to have any other zone ones out for a while. I kind of want to do just like go through that book of like prehistoric mammals that I have and see about some other different, you know, prehistoric mammals that would be an interesting devil fruit, just to see pop up. But then, the end of the week that I'm recording this, my mom and I are taking the kids to like our local event center where they're having this big dinosaur event where there's like lots of like animatronic dinosaurs all over the place. So maybe I'll end up getting some pictures there, and maybe I can do like a something with those in a video. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But that's what I have. Although I will admit there is one mythical zone I would not mind them doing in One Piece that I think would be fun, but I highly doubt would happen. Would be a mythical zone model jackalope. I have a piggy bank jackalope over here. I don't know if you can see it. It's over here, but you can't really see it. I got it on the Nebraska trip. But, you know, it's technically a mythical creature, and it's a rabbit that has horns, so it can stab you, and I'm sure Oda could come up with some, like, interesting power that I could have. But, yeah, that'd be fun. So, that's what I have for this. I thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your day. Bye!
Its user's body gains the properties of rubber. In combat, they're supposedly only limited by their imagination, putting smiles on faces far and wide. They are the embodiment of the warrior of liberation, sun god Nika. Awakening exponentially strengthens their rubbery body, and they have even more freedom. It is allegedly the most ridiculous power in the world.